welcome to another episode of Shoes Off Inside with me, May Lee, Tamlyn, Tamita, Kelly, who. Hi, ladies.
Hey! Oh, I love it.
Hello, gorgeousnesses.
The best t-shirts. But you know what?
Always.
I actually kind of needed that because I think all of us need a little bit of a pick-me-up these days because
tell me about it.
Happening, right?
Yeah.
But, so this is a episode today. This is what I like to call everything in the kitchen sink, because we just kind of talk about whatever is on our minds.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much going on.
I know. Should we tell everybody what the date is? Remind them of this place and time where we are at.
It is June 6th.
Yes.
Friday.
D-Day.
Today is D-Day.
Yeah.
Today is D-Day.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
So significant date in our history.
In our history.
World War II, for those of you who are wondering what D-Day was, when the Americans landed in France, right? Or
Normandy, right?
On Normandy. So they stormed Normandy, which liberated Germany from the stranglehold of the evil Nazi regime.
Yeah.
Yay, Pam.
I recently went to Normandy and visited the beaches of Normandy and the memorial last fall when I went to a friend's wedding in Normandy, France. Wow. And so, of course, we took the opportunity to go, and because everyone was like, "You must go to Normandy and see the beaches where the D-Day landings happened, and of course the cemetery." Right. It is breathtaking.
Beautiful or historically?
In every way.
In every way.
It is breathtakingly beautiful, for sure.
That's what I hear.
Dramatic, because when you go there and physically see the beaches and how big they were and how wide they were, and then you see the cliffs where the Germans were, hiding out, shooting at the Americans when they were landing, doing their amphibious landings. They were just sitting ducks. Man. I mean, it's wide open.
Just suicide mission.
Yes, and to have them run across these wide beaches to even get to the cliff. I mean, I get chills right now thinking about it, because I remember my friends and I were looking at this going, what in the hell?
Yeah.
I mean, I can't even imagine the courage that it took.
Yeah. Yeah. People need to go to those hallowed places. It's like, I think specifically for Americans, we need to visit Normandy Beach. We need to visit Pearl Harbor. We need to visit Hiroshima.
Yes.
Just in terms of worldly events, everybody needs to, visit, the Twin Towers or, Freedom Tower, those kinds of places to really realize the magnitude of, world events.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're there,
you feel it. You feel it. You're exactly right.
So D-Day, but let's talk about what is going on here and the
politically
entertainment that is just like happening before our eyes lately.
The pettiness. The pettiness is at like 1,000 right now.
Someone on a website called Feminist News posted the funniest little blurb, and I reposted it on Facebook because I'm unsure. It said this messy, bigly billionaire bromance breakup is about the gayest thing to happen in Pride Month ever.
Pride.
And it was like, and then somebody wrote, how can you denigrate the LGBTQ community with these perverts? And I go, if you can't see the irony, it's like,
yeah, the hypocrisy. I mean, it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. So for those of you who maybe aren't aware, I'm sure, I mean, really, everybody.
You'd have to be under a rock.
Trump and Musk are breaking up in a big way, in a very public way.
Yeah.
And they are just absolutely on social media, of course, because they don't know how else to communicate.
Yeah.
They're just ripping each other apart.
It's embarrassing.
Embarrassing. It's very, look, I think it's karmic, because it's like they try to fuck everyone else, right?
Yeah.
And now each other. And so go ahead, do it. We've been waiting for this, right? Yeah. I think everybody's saying, is this a surprise? Of course it's not a surprise.
Yeah.
That this eventually happened.
You can't have two big egos in the same room.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And everybody knew this was going to happen. It's like, it does feel like high school. It's like, oh my God, they're going to break up at the beginning of summer or something like
Yeah.
that.
I
And
think
it's just,
AOC,
yeah,
AOC, they asked her, what do you think about what's happening between Trump and Musk? She's like, oh, the girls are fighting. I thought that was
yeah,
such a
yeah,
good answer.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I was telling Kelly before we started recording, I said, when we talk about this, I have a theory, unproven, of course.
What?
And somebody else was suggesting this today on social media. If this is like 5D chess, maybe we shouldn't take this at absolute face value.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Distraction.
There might be something else beneath this. I don't know if they're that clever. I mean, Trump, I don't think it is. Musk, he is. So should we just take it at face value that they're just, fighting each other like it's a cat fight, or is there something deeper in terms of distraction and strategy here? I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Really quickly, I think I'm just being vastly entertained by this breakup and the fallout because it's super. I mean,
It's like
again,
Housewives of the White House.
Yes, Real Housewives, and
Yeah.
again, that moniker too is like, oh, the girls are fighting, or it's the Real Housewives of DC. It's like, I don't think women or housewives will take offense to that. It's just we know that people like Musk and Trump. And look at my loving Daniel-san bringing me coffee. Thank you, my love.
Gotta figure this stuff out.
And I know.
We need a Daniel-san.
I know. Everybody needs a Daniel-san. But the idea that for girls, women, trans people, LGBTQ people like Musk and Trump will never, ever feel comfortable with being called a woman, a girl, an LGBTQ person. So that's why it's kind of fun. It's funny to me.
It's almost insulting to women.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
and
not.
LGBTQ people.
Yeah. Yeah.
The fact that Musk is calling for Trump's impeachment, but which I'm like, oh, good. I'm glad you're calling for that. But then he's saying JD Vance should take over. I'm like, no. That's
no.
That guy's not ready.
Yeah.
But I do think Elon has something about he had tweeted something about another what do you call party. We need a third or fourth party.
Yeah.
I do think that he is right about that. I think our party system,
I think a lot of people agree with you.
is just not working for us.
Yeah. He probably would be privy or, very, very seducible to funding it, to backing it, for sure.
Now, okay, that's an interesting question because he's now saying he could back Democratic candidates in the midterm elections, right? He's now saying that. Now, if
they'll take his money.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. I'm like, would they take his money?
Oh,
they should absolutely take his money.
Yeah. And so this is the time for campaign finance reform. There must be limits, there must be equal time. So this is, it's all good in a way because it really, focuses the need for equity in terms of the persons whom we elect.
Do you think this administration would actually be able to pass that through?
No.
They wouldn't want to.
But the agitation.
Are you sure? Just to stop Elon?
No. Yeah, it's the agitate because I think there are too many people in the House, especially, that are just so dependent on the monies that come in from folks like Elon and the like. It's not just Elon; it's Peter Thiel. Yeah.
Well, Peter Thiel, I feel like, is the mastermind also behind so much of this.
So. I think there's even shadowier persons.
Yeah. Who is this Thiel person?
Peter Thiel is one. He's actually also donated a lot of money to the campaign to the GOP.
What does he do?
He's in tech.
Okay.
Okay.
He owns the company Palantir, which is all data. Oh, where's he going? Is he leaving? Oh, look.
Bye, Daniel-san.
Bye, Daniel-san.
Well, see, I have my own little.
Little gold.
Oh my gosh, she did get bigger.
She got so big.
I know. She's 9 pounds now.
She's still very wiggly.
Yeah, she's very wiggly.
Oh, wait, you guys are all getting kisses. I have nothing.
I know. Wiggly. Okay.
Even if I had my dog here, she wouldn't be kissing me.
Oh no, girls, you can't be fighting in this. No. Oh no.
Oh no.
Look at what you started.
Okay, shh. Mommy's recording her show. Okay, okay, they're leaving. I think Musk, I don't know. What do you think, Tamlyn? I think Musk has definitely gotten what he wants, but now it may all crumble because Trump is threatening, he's saying, "Oh, I'm going to take away all your government contracts."
Yeah,
Right?
exactly. It's going to be a continual push and pull,
Yeah.
and but what what I am also a little judgmental on is the is the focus by the media about this cat fight, because there are more important things, but this is just so
Entertaining.
entertaining and
Yeah.
money
Love
making.
it.
We're looking at all the newspapers around the world, and, and
Yeah.
that's where I agree with you, Kelly. It's like, it's so fucking embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, you're about to, okay, let's talk about that. So you're about to go on an overseas trip,
yes,
right?
ma'am.
To
Yes,
Europe.
And you're going to
yes.
Scotland?
So we're going to, not in any particular order, we're going to London town and the south of England, but then also to the north of Great Britain. We're going to Scotland for Daniel's friends, Brian Abraham, who's going to get married in a castle in Scotland.
Oh, how fun.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
But
they're
they're not
going.
even Scottish, right? They're not even from Scotland. They're just doing it
Yes.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're not even Scottish. But actually, I don't know if his betrothed Bethany is of Scottish descent. It's just an idea of a destination wedding.
So
Oh,
I brought this up because of the whole idea of going overseas right now, and we're saying it's so embarrassing, right? So it'll be interesting for you to talk to people now and
Yes. Yes.
see
Yeah.
see.
Well, and also, I don't know if you guys get this whenever you travel over across the pond, literally. It's like they have to learn the fact that you're American, even though you look like this, and they're
Yeah.
looking at you and you go, "Oh, you are American. Oh, okay. I guess I could talk to you about Trump and, whatever,
Do you
whatever,
want
and guns,
well,
Yeah.
do you want to say you're American? Because some friends of mine are saying, "Oh, I'm telling them I'm Canadian or whatever," and I'm
I
like,
have a Canadian pin that I keep on my
I have a
purse.
Canadian wallet.
I mean, I would
Yeah.
probably maybe say, "Oh no, I'm Korean, like I'm from Korea," you know?
Right? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it is so embarrassing, and there is a
It
lot of
really is.
animosity
Yeah.
toward
Yeah.
America.
And then also I am still rather, because of the, the clampdown of people who are born, from foreign countries who are not, I mean, just that outright ban yesterday. And
Yeah,
then specifically Chinese students being their student visas being revoked. It's like, I know I'm going to be looked at immigration coming back into my own country.
yep,
It's like, oh
yep.
shit, yeah.
I
So,
know the
yeah.
fact that we have to even think about that now
So
is
there is,
just
yeah,
so
there is that kind of fear and
unbelievable.
trepidation. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Right?
whole international student thing, just me having taught at two different universities, and
Yes.
the number of international students that come, because we have such great institutions
Yeah.
of learning, right?
Yeah.
And it's
Right.
so tragic that they're being sort of targeted this way
Yeah.
when they just want they want to come to the best universities, and of course Harvard is the
Harvard's
Yeah.
number one.
They want to become the best they can be. I mean, isn't
and
Yeah.
that
we
the
want
American
them.
thing? Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's like we should want them.
Yeah.
We should
Right.
want them to come because they're honoring and respecting this institution
Yeah.
that is older than the United States,
Yes.
We
right?
certainly want their money.
And we take their money, of course, but we also want their brains,
Yeah.
right? They are the best of the best in the world.
Yeah.
And a lot of
And
them stay, right?
yeah,
They
a
do.
lot of them do
And take
stay.
jobs in America.
Yeah.
And contribute to research and science and development and
Right.
all the good things that we
Yeah.
want.
It's the mindset of being able to invest in our collective future, where I
Yeah.
think this administration is made up of a bunch of stupid, short-sighted men and short-dicked men saying
Yep.
it's the art of the deal. It's whatever I can get now versus what we can see for the future. And yeah, it's
Yeah,
becoming
Well,
glaringly clear.
let's be honest. I mean, Donald Trump, I mean, look, we have made no secret on the show that we're not Trump fans, okay?
Mm.
But I wish people would just kind of see he doesn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about anybody but himself
Yeah.
his family and his wallet.
Yeah.
Okay. He doesn't give a fuck about the middle class. He doesn't give a fuck about the poor. He doesn't give a fuck about anything but himself because he's a true narcissist. And so the level of cruelty that this administration continues to show us and, conduct all these different, raids and all these different policy changes. I don't understand why people still don't see that.
I'm waiting to hear what Kelly says.
What's so strange to me is you say that he doesn't give a fuck about poor people or whatever, but yet he really appeals to the people who think that they are being underserved by the government.
Yeah.
That's his whole, base.
That's his whole shtick.
Exactly. So everything that you are saying, other people who are in these positions think opposite. They think that he is for the poor and the underserved and the people who are being left out of society. He sees us, and he's one of us, which is also very strange to me. It's like, he's never been poor. That guy has no idea what it's like not to ride private. The way that he's been able to sell himself and his ideas is brilliant.
Yes.
Because it's exactly those people who got him into office.
I think, to take the antithesis to Trump is Bernie Sanders and that whole idea of Bernie bros, in 2016. It's that whole idea of, doing, fuck this government. We got to, restructure it. And it's the same kind of mentality. It's like, we're the we're the right ones. We're the winners. It's about good versus evil. And Trump has also made himself a celebrity by anointing himself as the king. You're fired. I'm the celebrity. You're the apprentice. So it's like us versus them. And that's exactly what I agree with Kelly, is that he's managed to argue and proselytize and, just put out in the world that he is fighting for you.
Right.
Which is he's only fighting for his motherfucking self, me. That's it. And I think it's just translated to that us versus them mentality. Right. Whereas Bernie has always been about them. It's us. Us is the them. It's us is the them. So I think we just have to, whoever, if it's the Dems, if it's a third party, if it's a youth movement, is to be really cognizant of the fact that we are a collective society that really does honor individual talents and achievements, and we have to continually find that balance. That's the human condition.
I kind of hope Elon does make a third party. I mean, he's got the funds for sure, because it's all about money.
But he's crazy. So
he is crazy. I don't think he should head it. But I mean, the idea of a third party, an independent party, I think a lot of people right now would jump on board.
Yeah,
maybe now more than in the past, because we tried a couple of times and it hasn't worked.
I think both Dems and Republicans would pull away from their parties to jump on board.
Oh, yeah.
For an independent party, because it used to be like we were worried about Bernie because he would be dividing the Democratic Party, right?
Yeah.
It would be at the Democrats' loss.
He's so prog,
right? But at this point, I think in politics, people are so sick of both sides that I think there would be waves of people coming in from both sides, and I think it would hurt both parties equally.
Yeah.
If there was a reasonable, suggestion in terms of a moderate kind of party, because you do see people wanting, sort of moderate Republicans, moderate Democrats getting, into the center, coming together. Someone like Adam Kinzinger, he's kind of a moderate Republican, right? And then he left the party.
Yeah,
well.
They're all gone, those moderates.
Yeah, well, who was the recent congressman who decided to flip? He left the Republican Party and became a Democrat just recently, just a few days ago. He said, "I can't do this party." I mean, he just ripped the Republicans a new one.
The news whizzes by us so fast. Yeah,
he's a guy who staunchly supported Trump.
Wow.
in public. So it's you're right, Kelly. Maybe we are now at sort of a precipice where it may, work, because in the
Yeah,
past
we're ripe for it.
More
in the
fuel to that fire for, a
yeah,
third, viable party. Yeah.
viable, because in the past it's kind of fucked
And
up
fuck
election.
Jill Stein. Sorry.
I
Yeah.
was just gonna say Jill Stein fucked up the election, her fucking votes, right?
And
So that
egos are not only masculine. Yeah.
Oh,
Just be
oh,
aware of that. Yeah.
yes,
Women
absolutely.
is like, check ourselves because again,
yes,
just because she's a woman, it's like, yeah.
yeah,
Anyway, but I want to
yeah.
move on because we're talking about the goodness of, society and goodness of our country. How are you doing, Miss Maylee?
Yes, May.
Yes. So and not great. And let's tell the audience and viewers and
Yeah.
listeners why. So I'm in the place where a lot of people have been, are in, will be in, which is the caretaking phase of our
Yeah.
lives when it comes to a parent.
It's
And
a
my mother,
reality.
it's a reality, and it's unavoidable to a certain extent. Now there are different degrees of it, of course, right? So,
Hmm.
and my mom, I've said, on the show in the past that she's gone through some medical issues here and there, just like anybody. She's 89, right? And
Mhm.
so she's not doing well now. And it's been a struggle. And so I've been, trying to deal with that with my brother and sister-in-law every day. It's a day-to-day, hour to hour sometimes. In fact, just this morning before we started recording, my brother called me. We were supposed to meet a caretaker that might help us this afternoon. We had a meeting set up, and my brother called me. He's like, okay, you got to call that meeting off. I'm like, why? He's like, because it's changing. He's like, now we need somebody at night, because we were going to hire this woman for the daytime. He's like, no, it's not going to work. He's like, we need somebody at night, overnight shift. And I'm like, okay, that's a whole different situation then. He's like, I know. So that's changing. So I'm having to juggle that with the agency. I'm having to deal with like doctors and appointments. And and yesterday she had a massage that I booked for her, a home massage. So the woman came, but after I had to bathe my mom and
Hmm.
put her clothes back, her pajamas back on, and put her back to bed. And at one point she said, maybe I can, if I died right now, it'd be good, because I had just bathed her, dressed her and put her back to bed. So I brushed it off, of course. I was like, don't be ridiculous, Mom, you're fine. What are you gonna say? So it's you know what it is, you guys? It's not even the physical part. It's not physically hard. The mental part. I can't believe how exhausting it is. It's I didn't know it was this exhausting. When I got home after being with her for like 5-6 hours yesterday, I collapsed on my couch. Like I felt like I was hit by a truck. I was so exhausted, and I'm like, wow, this is crazy. So now I get it when people are like, it's the mental exhaustion.
Yeah.
So
You need help.
yes.
You
And my
cannot do that
sister-in-law,
alone.
my poor sister-in-law is the one that's taking, here's the other thing. I think I talked about this before. It's the guilt, the Asian guilt. I think I did a video on filial piety and how that can sometimes feel like you're in prison because you kind of can't get out of that, right?
Mhm.
When filial piety is like, it's a cultural thing. And so you feel beholden, right? And no offense to white people. Okay. But I'm going to say this. White people don't have the same notion of being so committed to your elders, right? No matter what. So I feel like the guilt of filial piety, I feel like I'm not doing enough. So that's one layer of guilt.
Yeah.
Second layer is I feel so guilty for my sister-in-law because she's taking on most of the burden, because my brother and sister-in-law live in the same home with my mom right now.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
I feel guilt about that.
And
Um,
culturally, your mom expects her to do a lot
yeah.
because she's a woman. Yeah.
Yeah. And she's the daughter-in-law.
Yeah.
Daughter-in-law.
The daughter-in-law usually gets pummeled.
He does. And I feel terrible guilt about that.
Yeah.
So it's not okay. So that was the answer to your question, Tam. That's how I'm doing. Sorry, I totally
No,
lost.
thank you so much for being
No.
honest
Thank you
and
for,
vulnerable.
Yeah. So I know a lot of folks out there have had this experience, and when I put that video out last week, so many people commented on it because people get it.
Yeah.
Right. We all get it, and it's inevitable. But it's still really hard. And, I think I got to the point where, with other people, when I would find out if their parents were sick or they passed away and they were old, right? And you kind of be like, oh yeah, well, they were old, right?
Mm-hmm.
It still doesn't help once you're in it.
No,
right?
I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing with that. That's again, it's something that's very, very universal, but again, it's that specificity to yourself
Yeah.
and how you are yourself, and then how you are with your parent, because there's that one special relationship you are with your parent like nobody else in the world. You aren't like that with your spouse. You aren't like that with your children. You are only like that with your parent. And as
Yeah.
our parents grow older, it's sometimes with my mom's 89 too, and it's just like she's healthy, she's pretty healthy, knock on wood. But hearing your stories, May, is like, I was just dealt, this particular set of cards. And it's like just trying to, Kelly and I check in with May and say, "How are you doing today, sister?" And it's like I miss this filial piety thing, but again,
Mm.
it's culturally, yeah, I do find it in. However, I think in Asian cultures, and I don't know enough about African American, Latino, other Caucasian cultures, but also we're Asian American, so that struggle between filial piety and,
Yeah.
well, we could just find you a great nursing home. That's an American thing because I want to live my life too,
Mm-hmm.
Right.
especially if I have
Mm-hmm.
kids. So that, the conflict and the stress, I can
Yeah.
only imagine what you're specifically going through, May. And, when you told
Yeah.
that's when, when our parents do go through that, it's like, just know you're loved, Mom. Just know you're loved, May. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
just to know that
What's
your souls are taken care of, in
yeah.
that moment.
And, as so many of us know in Asian culture, we don't verbally say, I love you. We don't say that.
Break it, Maylee, break
Oh, I know.
it.
And I've been thinking about that obviously lately, and I still haven't done
Right,
it.
honey girl,
I know.
as your elder, I cannot tell you how now it is annoying that my mother says I love you more than I say to her, and I'm the one who said from a little girl, "Why did you say I love you, Mommy?" And now she says it, "I love you, I love you."
Oh.
And I love it. It's just because I had the grace, the privilege of my husband teaching my mother, I tell
Oh.
tell your daughter you love her.
Oh.
Oh,
And then
wow.
telling me, tell your mom you love her. It's practice. It's
I
practice.
know. I
Practice
know.
will make it perfect. As
It's funny
perfect as
though,
it can be.
because
I just encourage you, Maylee.
okay, so I'll tell you guys a story about how it's the difference between the experience of losing my father and then what's happening
Oh
now,
yes.
right?
Oh.
So my father, as some of you know, was very, very suddenly taken because he was killed by a 16-year-old driver 13 years ago. And so that was unexpected. So that kind of death is very, very different from what I'm going through now. So I'm literally having two polar
Yes.
opposite
Yeah.
experiences. So when my father was killed, because, to this day, I never say my father died. Because when you say somebody died, you're thinking, oh, they died because of an illness, whatever. I still hang on, and maybe this is not healthy, but I still hang on to the fact that he was killed. He was killed. He was taken in a very violent way,
Yeah.
right? So during that grieving period, my brother and I started saying "I love you" to our mom, thinking that was a good thing to do.
Yeah.
Right. Because we learned a lesson from our father's death. But then it faded. We kind of like went back into our Asian box, and we haven't said it. I haven't said it in years.
Can you surmise why it faded away, that practice? Is it because you didn't hear it back?
Maybe. I mean, she said it a couple of times, but she didn't keep it going either. I think, honestly, and again, I think a lot of our Asian listeners and viewers are going to probably totally relate to this. It's like I couldn't build the muscle.
Yeah.
Muscle was so hard to develop.
Yeah.
And it just was so weird and uncomfortable. Not because I don't. Here's the thing: people have to understand outside of Asian culture, it's not that we don't love our parents and our family, and it's not that at all. Because we do. It's just the verbalization is so not part of what we do and how we express our love that I never could fully embrace it and develop that muscle of being able to say it. It felt natural. It never felt totally natural to me.
The way I think Asians show our love to our parents is by doing things.
Action.
It's action.
Exactly. It's like your actions will tell me more than your words. And so a lot of us rely on just doing, whether it be like you showering your mom, getting her ready, cleaned up, feeding her, getting her medications, or whatever it is that you do is more important than the words, right? In our culture.
Parents do. Parents do that to the kids.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Right.
Right. That's how you say you care for someone.
Yeah. But I think it's evidencing itself, this dichotomy that I'm going to say out loud to you, May, that what your mom said the other day when you bathed her, that was her best way of saying I love you, in a really sincere way, where it wasn't provoked, where it wasn't jostled, or where it wasn't you got to say it. And that's where I'm very thankful to have Daniel to be my crutch. When it doesn't feel like it's natural, it's like it's going to be natural. You just have to practice and build exactly what you said, that muscle. And because I think it's something that you'll be able to develop in your relationships with your brothers and Andre, Dora, and Isugi, of course, but but especially in the time that realistically that we have with our parents. It's like, if it's not a practice that we do now, it's something that I will try to practice for the rest of my life for my mom, even when my mom is gone, because I know the value of hearing her little voice, and what it feeds in me as a human being who brought me into this world. So
I just finished a trip. I just got back last night seeing my niece graduate. And
yes. Congratulations.
Alone. Thank you. We're so proud of her. But I traveled alone with my mom for the first time. As an adult, and she needed the wheelchair, and she needs help walking, and she's at that point where she's 87 or going to be 87, and we spent a lot of time with my brother alone in the car, because he lives so far from the city and everything, and we talk a lot, the three of us, and I noticed that my brother's approach and my approach are very different when it comes to my mom. We talk a lot about the past, and my mom explains a lot about what happened and her side of the story and why she had to do things the way she did. And I find myself praising her a lot more, saying, "You did so good, Mom. You were so smart to do this and that." And I think my brother's catching on and starting to do that more. But I think my mom needs to hear it right now. All the things that she did right.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And they have to know that you take notice and appreciate it now.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's sort of the way we say I love you.
Yeah.
Because I do see my mom's reflecting on a lot of the past, of course.
Of course.
Everything is natural. And she is focusing on a lot of regret.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, she cannot end her life like this.
She has to know that she is forgiven, and that's the I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you're right. You're
It-
right.
it-
And I
it's-
love
yeah.
that you're doing that.
Yeah, it is. We're full-fledged adults, and our parents are becoming. I wish I had better words, less than they are, because they're not only our parents, but they're our aging parents, and they're entering the last chapters of our lives,
Yep.
and they just need to be, they need to be seen again, at the end, so they know that they can move on, transition, go into the next chapter of their lives with grace and with the feeling of security that they did the best that they could and that they were loved. So
Yeah.
Right. And so that's why I think for those of you who may be listening and watching, who say, why don't you just, put her in a home?
Oh,
You gotta understand. And
I can't even think about that. I can't. There's no way.
Yeah, we can't do that. And I have had to explain this to so many friends who are not of this, culture. And people do, and I'm not judging people.
Oh no, no.
To do it for whatever reason,
for their sanity.
Even some of my Korean American friends have had to do that because it was just so difficult, and I get it. But we do everything in our power not to, because it's just we can't.
Because you can still take. Yeah.
On this last trip, my mom just told us again, do not put me in a nursing home.
She did.
Oh, wow.
She says it. And so, my mom's very direct. She's got all her plans laid out. We just have to follow the directive.
Well, it's good to be specific.
It is. And it takes the onus off of us.
Yeah.
My mom says, I don't want to be a burden. But, she's got all the insurance. She's like, hire nurses, but I want to stay home for as long as I can. But she also said, if I ever get dementia or Alzheimer's, I'm not going to know the difference. Put me in a home. She's like, I don't want to be that kind of burden, because we've experienced it, with both our grandmothers. So yeah, she's already given us permission. And I think that's important too, for them to give you that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a question for both of you, because we're all in the same boat. None of us have children.
No.
Yes.
And I know my mom thinks about that, because
she's worried for you.
What her kids are doing for her. And of course, that's what we do. But I think she's really worried. She has said to me many times, what are you going to do? And I'm like, Mom, different generation. I always say to her, Mom, different generation. I've taken care of myself for so long, I'm very independent, and all that, so I'll be okay. But I think she does really worry about that. Do you guys think about that at all for yourselves? Or?
I just had this conversation with my mom yesterday, with my mom and my brother. I can't rely on my niece. That's too much for her to have to take care of all the adults, And I said, thank God I have money, and I'm going to actually start looking into long-term care.
Okay.
Yeah, because we got to plan this stuff. We can't rely on friends or, our extended family.
Yeah.
It's just too much.
Yeah.
And it's hard enough when it's your own parents to do it, but when somebody is not your parent, to expect them to do that is, I think, just, you can't rely on that. And
Right.
so I am going to look into long-term care like my parents have and start planning for whatever I can. That kind of stuff costs money.
Tamlyn, how
Yeah.
do you feel
I
about
really
that?
admire both of you for thinking in long term. It's my mother, she does think about that too. And yes, I do have children, so
Yes, we do.
no, I'm just
Unfortunately, they
kidding.
just
But
care of us.
turning back to the
Your cat
subject, I
will
mean,
eat your face off if you die first. Just so you know. They will not starve.
but you're too funny. It is something that I really haven't given a lot of thought about because we have, Daniel and I have so many nieces and nephews, and I guess it is, and it's I have the privilege of having a very large family, and they live all here in LA. So we'll probably, have those discussions later on. Um, one thing I just want to round out a little bit is your condo still for sale, Kelly? Who?
It is for sale.
Yes, so I'm putting out a little blurb here
A
for
little
yeah
advertisement. Thank you,
to
Tam.
help her with her long-term retirement plans. Um, it's a
Tamlyn, you
lovely
are.
two-bedroom condo in Brentwood.
I love it.
Check
I
out,
love
Thanks,
it.
yeah.
Tim.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And then also, I never, I'm one of those, Pollyanna-ish girls. I use that word specifically because I don't even think about things like, retirement or, having, a life partner kind of thing. So I know I'm lucky, but, hearing and being able to participate in conversations with you, with you two and other folks that, we have private conversations, it leads me to thinking, yeah, I got to start thinking about that. So that's what I want to honor here. It's like, and never be afraid to ask questions. That's what I'm not afraid of. It's like, how do
Me
you start?
neither.
I don't know how much. It's like, you see all those blurbs for life insurance, think about, putting 500K in your, 401K for, it's like, what? It's like, I have
Maybe
no idea.
that's the next episode is we need to have
No.
somebody who does that kind of planning,
Yeah.
who can
Retirement
give us
planning,
ideas.
all that. I think financial, like related topics, I think are really, really necessary and essential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
They're really
especially
not
for
sexy, but still, it's like,
they're not sexy, but they're so practical, and like everyone has to go through them.
yeah.
And the thing
Nobody.
is, so many people are choosing not to have children that
Yep.
I think half the country is going to be in our position at some
Half
point,
the world right now.
Yeah.
more, you
Everybody.
think?
Yes. And then
Wow.
also it's a funny thing, but I've had discussions with other sets of girlfriends. It's like, we're just going to buy a house together and we're all going to live together and have a caretaker, just live with us.
Commune.
Yeah.
Yes, commune
A
lifestyle.
commune. Yeah.
I've talked about this for decades.
Oh,
This
really?
idea. Yes, because
So
I
have I.
really because I saw the changing sort of family dynamics and changing structure of society and the idea of community. And like, so we have to start thinking about what is family, what is community. And that might mean, bringing together like-minded people and building a community, a little village or something where it's shared resources.
Yeah.
Right. It's not hippy dippy commune,
Yeah.
but I think it really makes sense.
Yeah.
So
It makes
support
sense
each other.
until you get those the fights and I mean,
toilet
and
seat
also
goes
growing old is
down.
no
No.
fun. People get grumpy.
But that's why I think it's important not to. I don't think I would want to live in a one home with everyone because that's like too close. You've seen those people who have built like little homes
Yeah.
next to each other.
Yeah.
Like they buy a plot of land and they each have their individual space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then they also share like a community area, whatever. I've always thought that's such a great idea.
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
or a multi, like here in Los Angeles, there's that $1 billion complex downtown that's not finished, the multi-level that's been graffitied,
Oh yeah. high
The
rise.
high rise. It's $1 billion. I think it's Chinese owned high rise,
It
and it's
was a
not
Chinese,
finished. But
right?
somebody should finish it and give a floor to a commune of people, of like-minded people. It's like
Yeah.
that's a kind of an
It's
idea.
like, remember the show Melrose Place
Yeah,
in the 80s? Was it the 80s?
Yes.
I did an
Remember
episode.
somebody lived in those it was a 2-floor, like L-shaped apartment building,
Yeah,
right? And they all had their own apartments. I mean, that's something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As long as everybody had their own space, but then they could come together, as a community.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Mhm.
yeah.
So the 80s are coming back then. So Melrose Place. I never watched that
Melrose
show.
Place.
Yeah, never watched
I
that
think
show.
I
But yeah.
dabbled in it. Did you just say you were in an episode of it, Kelly?
yeah, I did one
There you
episode.
go.
I think
You
one
did.
or maybe two. I can't remember. One or two.
Were you the
Yeah.
love interest or were you a girl
I
rival?
I was a girl who broke somebody up. I can't remember. Some
Yay.
couple or something.
Oh my God.
I'm either that or the murderer or the one the villain,
The
Either way,
villain.
I'm a villain. I'm always a
Yeah.
villain.
The fun
All right.
parts.
Well, you're not a villain to us. But listen, I know that Tam, you have to get cracking because she's got to pack for her trip.
And I gotta
she has
get
to start.
get
So
the house
exciting.
clean. Yeah.
I know. So,
Do you
but,
guys do you guys clean your house before you go away?
Absolutely. Are you kidding?
Yeah, right?
Oh,
Do
yeah.
people
Oh my
not
God.
do that? It's like we it's like people it feels like we're cleaning our house for people to come over, which they are, but we like to come home to a clean house. I don't think
Yeah.
people yeah.
My
Okay.
dishes are all washed and
Okay. I'm glad that
sheets
you
are changed and
Yes.
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And I
And if I
away.
if I can, I do all my laundry too. Like
Yeah.
I don't even like to leave dirty laundry in the hamper.
Yeah, us too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's almost like we're like cleaning up the house just in case it gets robbed because it's
Or in case you die overseas and somebody has to come and get all your things.
Right.
oh my God.
That's so morbid.
Get cleaning, get packing, Tamlyn,
Thank you.
and you have a wonderful, wonderful
Yes.
trip.
I will. Thank you. Thank
Give me
you.
Come
how
back
I
and
come
share
back.
everything.
I know. I may. Yeah. I go, Daniel. We got to come back. But it's our pets. It's our children.
I know that's true.
Yeah,
That's
so,
true.
yeah, so, yeah.
And thank you, ladies, for letting me like pour my heart and soul out.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
But I think this is the importance of like just being open and honest and vulnerable and sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully folks out there who are listening and watching
Yeah.
can relate.
Yeah.
And maybe this is going to help you somehow just to know that you're not alone.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is life.
Yeah.
It's life. Yeah. So my mother doesn't watch the show or listen to the show. So I'm going to say, Mom, I love you.
Yes.
See, there you go.
Yes.
I'm practicing.
Practice
I'm
that
practicing.
muscle. Practice that muscle, girl. Practice it.
I am going to see her this afternoon. I've got to go over there later. So
Maybe
I will start
she should watch the show.
Maybe. But you know what she'll say? She'll say to me in Korean, why did you say fuck so many times?
My mom will go. My mom will go.
swear.
Why didn't you put on some makeup? How come you're always wearing t-shirt all the time?
Exactly. They'll have something to say. They'll definitely have something to say. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Asian moms.
I love them. All right, ladies. Have a beautiful weekend, Tamlyn. Safe
Thank
travels.
you, ladies. I love you guys. I love,
Love
you both.
you guys too.
Thank you.
You guys, seriously, you sisters, you're the best.
Thank you.
You really are.
So are you.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.